Okay, happy Monday. Happy Monday. I'm live on TikTok and on YouTube. Okay, hope everybody's doing great today. Happy Monday, everyone. Let me know in the chat if you guys don't mind. Let me know where you guys are watching from. Would love to know because we always have women that are, global, all over the world here. So I just like to know where everybody's watching from. All right. So today I want to talk about, are your fibroids shrinking? Let's find out. How do you know your fibroids are shrinking? Because I get this question a lot. This is one of the questions that I get a lot. Okay, a lot. So I wanted to do a live about this. Louisville. What state is that in? Louisville. Okay, welcome. What state is that in? I'm just curious. Hey everyone coming in. Let me know where you guys are watching from. Let me know where you guys are watching from. Hope you guys are doing amazing. Happy Monday, happy Monday, happy Monday. Okay, Kentucky. Okay, welcome. I love that. Oh my God, I don't think we've ever had somebody on here from Kentucky. Thank you for the rose, Kelly. I appreciate that. Thank you. Yes, I love that. Thank you so much for being here. Hey everyone coming in the chat. Make sure that you guys put in where you guys are watching from. So I want to talk about how to know that your fibroids are shrinking, because women that are following me, they tend to, because we know this is a holistic, I always say holistic page or holistic channel, right? They tend to be on their journey to shrinking and ridding their bodies of fibroids naturally, okay? So I wanted to let you know what are the signs and symptoms that your fibroids are shrinking, that you're on the right trajectory, but also, if you're not seeing these signs and symptoms, what could you be doing wrong, okay? This is so important because a lot of women have been on their fibroid shrinking journey, womb healing journey for a while, and they want guidance on, how to know it's working, right? How do they know it's working? Especially if you're not getting, a lot of us, if we're not getting that feedback, we're kind of confused about, we're doing all this work. Okay, is it really working? Because you're changing so many things and it can be really frustrating. So I wanted to do a live. I wanted to go live about this topic, okay? As you guys are coming in, tap on. Okay, so I'm off Wi-Fi now. I should not be going in and out. If I'm going in and out, let me know. If I was, YouTube, I'm sorry. They're going to fix my Wi-Fi, I think tomorrow. Okay, cannot wait. Cannot wait. All right. Hey, everyone. You guys, put a 1 in the chat if you can see and hear me perfectly. YouTube, put a 1 in the chat if you guys can see and hear me perfectly. Hopefully, I'm not, the Wi-Fi's not acting funny. If it is, let me know. If the Wi-Fi's acting funny, please let me know. Don't just leave. Let me know at least before you leave, okay? Tap on the screen, ladies. Tap on the screen so we can get more women in here if you're watching from YouTube. Hi, Andia. So the Wi-Fi is good, right? The Wi-Fi is good. Let me know on YouTube, ladies. And welcome, YouTube. Make sure that you guys thumbs up. Click the thumbs up button. Today we're talking about, are your fibroids shrinking? Let's find out if you're on the right trajectory to getting your fibroids to shrink, right? Because a lot of you guys, again, are on this journey, getting rid of your fibroids, shrinking your fibroids, and you're wanting to know, because I get the question a lot, is it working, right? Is it working? Is what I'm doing working? And if it's not working, what can I do to change? Thank you, Astro Dream. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you, Andia. Thank you. And ladies, also let me know, because I see some of you guys are new. Let me know where you guys are watching from. Okay. So what's going on? YouTube, TikTok, y'all still here? I don't know, TikTok has been different the last a week or so. I don't know what's going on with TikTok. I'm a little concerned because usually TikTok is they're on it, and it just hasn't been that for the last week. So I don't know if it's the algorithm. I don't know what's going on. So let me know. TikTok, hello, can you hear me? Can you hear me on TikTok? Let me know. Do I have to come off and come back on? You're from the United Kingdom. I love that. I was just in London not too long ago. Just in Manchester. Cool. Okay. That's awesome. All right. So TikTok, I don't know what you guys are doing. I'm gonna just keep going. If I'm not working on TikTok, come to YouTube. The link is in my bio. Come to YouTube, okay? So how do we know that our fibroids are shrinking? And for those that are new, by the way, if you're watching me for the first time, hi, welcome. Okay, thank you so much for being here. I'm happy you found my page. All right. My name is Sasha. I'm a holistic womb specialist. And what I do is I help women who have fibroids and other reproductive health issues. Okay, I help women actually get to the root cause of these issues when it comes to, you know, endometriosis, fibroids, PCOS, cysts, women's health issues. Get to the root of the issues and get rid of the issues, okay? Because we cannot address fibroids, we can't address cysts, we can't, if we're not getting to the root cause, we're not really addressing the actual issue, right? We're just, you know, playing around. So I help women do that and restore their hormonal balance and, again, become connected with who they are as far as be more so in their natural feminine essence, right? Be more connected with their bodies, be more connected with their cycles, which is your power as a woman, right? So that's what I help women do. I love what I do. Been able to help many clients over the years get rid of fibroids, get rid of ovarian cysts, be able to become pregnant naturally, and so much more. So I love what I do, love what I do. It's all about putting the power back into your hands when it comes to your healing, when it comes to your health, which is so necessary, okay? So I'm gonna log off TikTok and come back, because TikTok is just, I think it's frozen. All right, so we're diving in. So when you are dealing with fibroids, right, and you're on a journey to shrink the fibroids on your own, when you're on a journey, it could be in order to know that you're on the right trajectory. And some people get stuck here, don't get me wrong, is you want to look at your menstrual cycle. That's going to be the first telltale sign, right? Your menstrual cycle is going to be able, sorry guys, I'm going to have to go live again on okay. Do I have to add a title again? Let me just go live. Okay, on your connection. Okay, it's not allowing me. Something went wrong. Okay, so something was really wrong with TikTok. Okay. Okay. We need to become more connected with the Lord. Absolutely. But, you know, I will say this too. Men like sorry. I will say this too, because I have women from all different religions following me. So, you know, thank you for your input. But, you know, we accept everybody from every different religious background here. Now, okay. You're going to notice a difference in your menstrual cycles. You're going to notice your menstrual cycles become, and this is sad that I can't go live on TikTok. I'm really upset about this, okay? I don't know what's going on. Okay, we'll try again. Okay, you're going to notice that your menstrual cycles become a lot better. You're able to more so menstruate with ease, right? A lot of women that have fibroids, they have really bad menstrual cycles, right? From the heavy bleeding to the cramps. None of that stuff is normal. These are all indicators that we're having imbalances in the body. So you need to be able to know when your body is letting you know that it's out of balance, right? So you have, a lot of times with the fibroids, you will have the extreme bloating. Like your menstrual cycle, it will feel almost as if you're being like a punishment in a sense, right? Unfortunately. So you're going to notice that your menstrual cycles become a lot better. They become a lot lighter, no pain, okay, or less pain. You're going to notice that you're no longer bleeding for more than, 4 days. You're going to notice that you're bleeding other times, having 3-day cycles, right? You're going to just feel a lot better. Your periods will more so, how can I say, surprise you. And not in the sense of you don't know when it's coming, but in a way where it will just come. There's not these long list of symptoms before they come. They just come. Okay, it just comes. You see some light bleeding. It's like, oh, okay, it's here. Okay, you're not gonna be carrying around these big old pads and big old like you're not going to need that, right? You're gonna be able to menstruate more. So I call it menstruating with ease. This is how menstruation is supposed to be. It's not supposed to be a struggle. It's not supposed to be, Hi, TikTok. I don't know what was going on TikTok, okay? Welcome back, okay? I was having connection issues. If I'm still having connection issues on TikTok, let me know. If you guys want to watch me, I'm also live on YouTube, okay? The link is in my bio when it comes to my YouTube channel, because it looks like YouTube is working better today, okay? But we're talking about how to know that your fibroids are shrinking. So you're going to not see any clots. You're not going to have pain on your menstrual cycle. And YouTube, click the like button, okay? Click the thumbs up button. And if you're watching from TikTok, tap on the screen. You're not gonna have symptoms, right? You're not gonna have, how a lot of women have, especially that have fibroids or other reproductive health issues, they have a long list of symptoms before they even get their period, from the bloating to the heavy bleeding. So they have all of these symptoms before they even get their period, right? You're not gonna feel any of that when you know that your fibroids are shrinking, okay? Welcome back, ladies. I don't know what's going on. Okay. Welcome back. Welcome back. The live was acting funny before. If it's still acting funny on TikTok, let me know. Okay. Be sure to like I said, YouTube is working better. So if you want to watch me on YouTube, that probably will be better. Okay. If you want to go to my YouTube channel, the link is in my bio. I'm also live on YouTube, just in case it cuts out on TikTok again. Okay. So you're also, if you've been dealing with heavy bleeding, if you have fibroids and you deal with heavy bleeding, you deal with anemia, all of those things will be healed. You're no longer gonna, if you know that when your fibroids are shrinking, you're no longer gonna have heavy bleeding, not even for one day. Because some of you guys will tell me, oh, my periods is only heavy for one day. That's still a problem. Your period is not supposed to be heavy, okay? Your period is never supposed to be heavy. You're never supposed to be bleed. Your body is not meant to bleed heavily. This is why when you do bleed heavily, you have all of these nutrient deficiencies. You have, low iron and all of these things. Our bodies are not supposed to hemorrhage. When our bodies are hemorrhaging, something's wrong, okay? So you're not supposed to experience heavy bleeding. So if you are experiencing heavy bleeding, that's the problem, okay? That's the issue. So when your fibroids are shrinking, you're gonna notice that your bleeding gets a lot lighter, a lot more manageable. Your period is no longer like a big deal. You don't have to plan your life around your period anymore, right? You can live your regular, exciting life without worrying about your period. You're not gonna be worried about it anymore because it's not going to be a hindrance on your life anymore, right? As opposed to somebody that has fibroids, more than likely, they're having to plan their vacations around their period. They're having to plan their day around their period. There are even people, a lot of times, and let me know, if that's you in the chat, let me know. Put a 1 in the chat if you have to plan your life around your period. You're planning your work day around your period. Some people even plan their jobs around their period because they know that they have to have stay-at-home jobs because their periods is that bad. Whether some people, it's just that bad, okay? Let me know in the chat if that's you. If you feel as though you have to plan your life around your period, okay? TikTok, I don't know what's going on. Can you guys hear me? TikTok, can you hear me? Okay, because everybody's quiet, coming in, out. If you guys cannot hear me, let me know, okay? So if you also, let's talk about abdominal swelling, because bloating and abdominal swelling is very common when we're talking about fibroids. Women that have fibroids tend to experience a lot of abdominal swelling, okay? So you're not gonna experience bloating. Bloating is not normal. Let me just get that out. Bloating is never normal, right? Your body having, that's inflammation. Your bloating is never normal, and it's sad that we've normalized it. It's not, even on your cycle, it's not normal, okay? When your fibroids are shrinking, you're gonna experience better periods. You're not gonna experience bloating. You're not gonna experience bloating. I've had clients that worked with me and said that this is the first time ever that my stomach was flat on my cycle, because your period is not supposed to be, your period is not, you're not supposed to experience bloating, not even on your cycle, okay? And the fact that they've normalized this is sad, because a lot of women, like I said, they think that they're supposed to be sick when they're on their cycle. Yes, you will feel, since our hormone levels are low, have decreased when you're menstruating, yes, you will feel, less energy, right? You may want to retreat more. You may not want to do as much when you have your cycle, but you're not supposed to feel like a huge difference. You're not supposed to feel disconnected from your body. You're not supposed to feel, you're not supposed to experience all of these things that you guys have normalized is not true. And the reason the reason why it's actually dangerous for you to continuously normalize sickness is because you start to accept sickness as your norm. And then you won't know the difference between when there's an issue or when it's, you won't know. So what happens is that a lot of you guys have accepted things like bloating as your norm, cramps as your norm, heavy bleeding. You've accepted that as normal, and that's why your body goes into deeper imbalances, right? So these things are hormonal imbalances. And because you accepted that as your norm, you don't know what's the imbalance and what's not an imbalance. So this is how we can this is why it's so easy for women to be diagnosed with fibroids, because when your body was letting you know that there were signs that they were developing, you weren't aware, right? So it's important. So this is why it's important too, when you're getting rid of fibroids, when you're going on the journey of getting rid of fibroids, you're gonna feel more connected to your body, okay? You're going to feel more connected to your body in the sense of you're going to know when something's wrong. Because if you experience the healthy body, when something's off, you know. You know. But when your body has always been out of balance, as long as you can remember, you're not going to know the difference, okay? You're not going to know the difference. Welcome, TikTok. If you guys can hear me clearly, let me know. Put a 1 in the chat. Put a 1 in the chat. If you guys can hear me clearly, y'all are so quiet. I came back on TikTok. Put a 1 in the chat if you guys can hear me clearly. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Speak to Dora. Thank you. I don't know what's going on with TikTok. People come in here act like they can't speak. Okay. And let me know. Thank you, Nicole. Put a 1 in the chat. Also, put, if you guys feel comfortable, I know I said this in the beginning. Let me know where you guys are from. Because TikTok is just, I was having Wi-Fi issues at first, and that's going to be fixed tomorrow. But we're talking about the signs and symptoms that your fibroids are shrinking. So this is for women that are desiring or already on the journey of fibroid shrinkage, of healing their wombs, of getting rid of fibroids and other reproductive health issues. From Brooklyn, New York, welcome. From London, welcome. I was just in London, like literally a week and a half ago. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay. Welcome. Love to see you guys here. I appreciate you guys for being here. Okay. Does this also apply to ovarian cysts? Yes. Great question. Does this also apply to ovarian? Yes. Because typically with ovarian cysts too, there's abdominal swelling, there's bloating, there's heavier bleeding, there's there's also clots. A lot of times women experience different imbalances, but for the most part, that's what the periods are off. So when your fibroids are shrinking, you're going to notice better periods. You're going to notice your period is no longer a hindrance to your life. You're going to notice that you feel better when you're on your cycle, right? You don't feel like, oh my gosh, you don't have to you don't feel this huge fatigue. Yes, you'll feel a little bit more fatigue, but you're not going to feel this huge difference, right? You're not going to be anemic because you're not going to be hemorrhaging, right? So if you are anemic with fibroids or ovarian cysts, you're going to notice that your iron levels are increasing. That's also a good sign that your fibroids are shrinking, okay? So you're also going to experience just an overall sense of wellness, okay? So let me know if you guys, and if you guys have experienced these things, let me know as well in the chat. You're also going to experience an overall sense of wellness. If you guys have questions as well, anything I'm saying, feel free to ask questions. Ladies, when you have fibroids or other reproductive health issues, it's a full body issue. Your hormones are out of balance. You're dealing with digestive issues, okay? Your digestive system is backed up. You're dealing with an overloaded, liver. You're dealing with a kidney that's not filtering the way it's supposed to. There's a lot of toxins in the body. So when we have fibroids, when you're dealing with fibroids, right, it's a full body issue. I need you guys to understand that. It is not just a uterine issue. So fibroids, I'm going to get to your questions in 1 second. So fibroids tend to affect not just, because again, your hormones are out of balance when you have fibroids. So it's not just a menstrual pain. A lot of women that have fibroids experience, issues with insomnia, issues with, anemia, there's other health issues going on, right? Issues with digestion, with gut health, right? All of that stuff goes together. It's a full body issue, right? That's why it's so important you want to get to the root of the issue. You don't just want to skip past and focus. A lot of people just laser focus on the fibroid, and you don't want to do that because it's a full body issue. You want to get to the root of what caused fibroids to occur, okay? What do you think? So it's not what I think, it's what I know, because I've been doing this for a long time. When we talk about the root causes of fibroids, I go more into detail about this I have so many videos on YouTube where I go into detail about this. However, the short answer to that is hormonal imbalances, okay? Your hormones are out of balance and your body was telling you. So with lots of toxins in the body, also emotional trauma that you're holding onto in the body, right? So we've dealt with, if you haven't processed through the trauma that you've dealt with, whether it's, from old relationships to childhood trauma to just different things, the pain, the guilt, the fear, the anxiety, if you haven't processed through that and dealt with that, it's still there. Our body keeps score. So even if you're ignoring it, you're repressing it, it's still there in the body. So these things also energetically form as energetic blocks in the body. Just a disconnect. When you have fibroids, it's a disconnect from self. And when you've developed fibroids, you were going a period of time without tending to self. This could be because you were in a relationship that was not the best, that was toxic. This could have been that you were dealing with maybe loss in the family. This could mean that they were different things going on. It, depends on the person, right? Maybe you were you were getting your master's or going to law school or med school, and you weren't paying attention to yourself, right? You weren't pouring into yourself. You were pouring into everybody else other than yourself. Maybe, you had a sick parent that you were caring for, you weren't taking care of yourself. So it's a layered question. I go more into it in the videos on YouTube. I have literally videos on YouTube dedicated to the root causes of fibroids. So I would go to my YouTube channel. The link is in my bio to look for that. And there's so many videos on there about that. I have a 5 centimeter in submucosal last year, my mammectomy, but it came, okay. So you had fibroids, a 5 centimeter fibroid. You had a myomectomy last year and it came back. So internal submucosal. Okay, so this happens. Fibroids, this is why I say that it's important to get to the root cause of the problem. Fibroids come back after surgery. Let me say that. And if you're watching from TikTok, like the video. If you're getting value, tap on the screen, like the video. If you're watching from YouTube, the like button, the thumbs up button, I promise you guys, it's free, okay? So you got to get to the root of the issue. If you don't get to the root cause of an issue, it just continues to come back. It will continue to come back. There's women that's had literally 5 surgeries to remove fibroids, and they've continued to come. They still have the fibroids because you did not address the root cause. So the root cause is important for you to address, okay? When fibroids are shrinking, does it change your core and what exercises you need to do to fix your core? That's a good question. I will say this, when you have I don't recommend doing major core exercises if you're dealing with abdominal swelling, if you have a large fibroid, if you're dealing with fibroids, but as your fibroids are shrinking, you may be able to do the core exercises without there being pain, without there being, I would say it depends on the situation. It depends on the situation. It depends on the person. I don't want to give a general answer to that because it really depends on the person. It's important. So analyze your situation. If you have abdominal swelling, hold off on core exercises, right? And I'm going to be honest too, because a lot of times, because a lot of people think fitness and getting rid of fibroids go hand in hand, and it doesn't. There's so many women that are fit that have fibroids. Let me say that again, because I probably have to do another video on this. There's so many women that are fit and have fibroids, right? I know they're my clients, or they're messaging me, right? They're like, well, I exercise and I'm fit. Why do I have fibroids, or why do I have this reproductive health issue? It doesn't have much to do with being fit, right? You can eat healthy and exercise and be fit. That does not have anything to do with fibroids. It doesn't have much to do with fibroids, right? Right, I was in the military and had them. Yeah, it's very, actually, a lot of women that are fit have fibroids. And I have to keep saying that because a lot of people think that exercising, when they're on their fibroid healing journey, exercising makes a big difference. You should exercise. It's important. Exercise and fitness is important, right? But when it comes to getting rid of fibroids, it's not high on the important list. However, you should still do it. But you want to keep, here's the thing, because we as women, we get, we want a particular body, we want this, and I totally understand you're going to get all of that. But a lot of people put their fitness at the forefront instead of getting rid of fibroids at the forefront, and that keeps them stuck. So you have to pick which one is more important. Because just because you're fit, you have a six-pack, does not mean you're healthy. It doesn't, unfortunately. Look at these sports players that literally just fall down due to heart issues. Just because you're fit and you're in shape does not mean listen, I'm all about being in shape. I'm all about being fit. I'm a big advocate for that as well. But that does not necessarily mean that you're healthy, okay? I want to make that very clear because a lot of these diets that fit people follow are not the healthiest. Yes, they will make you fit. They will help you get fit and they'll help you gain muscles and all this stuff and having flat abs. But will it help you be healthy, your organs be healthy? No. That's another conversation for another day, okay? So don't associate the two. I wouldn't worry so much on core exercises. I would worry about getting rid of the fibroid. You could do as much core exercises before. Once we get that fibroid to shrink really down, then you can start doing your core exercises. I wouldn't worry so much about what exercises to do. I would just not focus on the core right now. Focus on other areas. And you know what? Things like even cardio builds up helps with the core. Bicycling helps with the core. So, but just, you don't want to do exercises right now that's going to just target the ab workouts, that's going to target the core too heavily. And it depends on the situation too, because if you have like a 2 centimeter fibroid and you're not really having bloating like that, you can get away with that more so than somebody that has a bigger fibroid. So it depends on the situation. So that's a good question though. Anybody have any questions? So how to know your fibroids are also shrinking? You're also going to sleep better. Your sleep will be much better. You're gonna sleep much deeper. You're gonna be able to get in that REM sleep. So if you're the type of person you struggle with sleep, your hormones are out of balance. Let me say that again. If you are the type of person that struggle with sleep, your hormones are out of balance. And when you're looking for are your fibroids are shrinking, we're also looking for an overall sense of wellness. And also our hormones are going to be, like I said, more aligned and much more balanced. Okay. I bought your grocery store list guide. I do not see oats. I really don't want to talk about food because when I talk about food, it's like a whole lot, but it's a whole lot, right? But I get like 100 questions. Is this okay? Is this okay? So is oatmeal bad? It's not bad, but it's not conducive to fibroid healing. That's what I would say. Okay, it's not conducive to fibroid healing. If you didn't see it on the list, let it go. Okay, if you did not see it on the list, don't eat it. Okay, I believe internally you must be calm to see the changes. Listen, absolutely, I believe internally you must be calm to see the changes within our body. Absolutely, absolutely. If you're not getting enough sleep, it's not gonna happen. How is your body goes into heavy restoration mode and heavy detoxification mode when you're sleeping, right? So you need to have good sleep in order to get rid of those fibroids. So if you struggle with sleep, that should be the first thing that you work on. So you're gonna notice that when your fibroids are shrinking, you're gonna notice that your sleep gets a lot better. Okay. You're also, listen, this is one that's huge, right? Those perimenopause issues that you guys are going through a lot of times in your late 30s, 40s, 50s, that we've really made a thing, right? All the symptoms you're having is gonna be all gone. Perimenopause is not experienced by healthy women. Healthy women do not experience perimenopause. Let me say that again for those in the back. Healthy women do not experience perimenopause, okay? And TikTok, be sure to like the video. If you guys are getting value from this, tap on the screen so we can get more women in here. Healthy women do not experience perimenopause. My clients that come to me thinking that they're in perimenopause or having the symptoms, all of them are gone completely. When we're getting rid of the fibroid, when we're getting our hormones in balance. Perimenopause just means your hormones are out of balance and you're dealing with lots of toxicity in the body. It typically means that you've been dealing with hormonal imbalances for years, but a lot of times you don't notice it until things get really bad, okay? So women that think perimenopause just comes out of the blue because you're 40, no, that's not how it works. That's not how it works, okay? So we have to deconstruct what we've been brainwashed to believe, because a lot of times we've been brainwashed to believe certain things so we can normalize sickness. And you don't want to normalize sickness, right? So let me say that again. Perimenopause is not a thing when you do not have when you're getting rid of your fibroids, when your hormones are in balance. Perimenopause doesn't exist. It does not exist. Okay? Yes, menopause eventually happens. It's a natural transition, but it doesn't. All these symptoms, no. That's imbalances. Okay? And I know that I've been doing this for a long time. I'm not just somebody that just talks and don't know what I'm talking about. I've been doing this for a long time. I've been helping women heal from fibroids and other reproductive health issues and hormonal issues for years, okay? Perimenopause is not a thing. When you're healthy, okay? Now, if you're not healthy, if you have fibroids, you have not gotten to the root of the issue, and you are not doing the work, you experience the perimenopause, more than likely, okay? Now, also too, and I'm happy that you said you made the comment about eternally you must be calm, because that is very true. You're going to experience when you know that your body is getting rid of fibroids, shrinking the fibroids, you're also going to experience emotional shifts. Because remember what I said earlier about if you have fibroids, we're also dealing with emotional blockages, energetic blockages that we're holding in the body. Because your womb doesn't just serve as your womb on an energetic level also serves as a emotional junk drawer, unfortunately. So a lot of that, the pain, the feel, like the negative feelings, the pain, the heartache, right? The guilt, the shame. We're holding on to that in the womb on an energetic level. So you're keeping all of this stuff that you've kept in. You got to start processing through it and letting it releasing it, right? And go and feeling it out and letting it, like I said, move through you. You're not meant to hold on to trauma, right? You got to process through it and allow it to flow like through you. You can't hold on to it in the body. That's how you get sick. That's how you develop health issues, such as fibroids, right? So your emotional state matters when it comes to your healing journey. This is holistic healing, body, mind, and soul. So the way you feel about yourself, the way you feel about, the way you feel about yourself, the way you feel about your life, these things have an impact on your healing journey. Okay? So you're going to experience emotional shifts when you're healing. This is how you could also tell. I had a client who I was working with who was in my 2-month intensive. She graduated, I think, April 1st. Yeah, April 1st. And if you're on my email list, her story is amazing. I showed you a before and after of her during the 2 months. Her fibroid, like she had a fibroid belly, it flattened so much, like it huge difference, right? She said that her husband said that she was just a lot happier. Like her husband was like, you seem a lot happier and a lot lighter. So that would just tell you, like when you're the state of your womb, I always say, mirrors the state of your life. So if you're dealing with fibroids, heavy bleeding, cysts, you're dealing with all this, clots, all this stuff going on, pain, that's the indication of where we're at in life. That's the indication of the blockages that you're experiencing in life from, stagnation. That's stagnation in your life, unfulfillment, right? There's an area in your life that you're not fulfilled, you're not happy, that's not moving. There's a disconnection from self and disconnection from how to move that area along, right? Because when you have fibroids also too, like you're gonna notice different roadblocks in your life. I know I've been through it, and I've also had many clients go through it as well, right? When you have fibroids, there's other areas of your life that you're experiencing roadblocks that you're not happy. That could be in your relationships, that could be in your career, that could be, in your family life, whatever, right? There's something, you're stuck somewhere. You're stuck, you're stagnant, you're unfulfilled, right? So when we go on a journey of womb healing, of shrinking our fibroids, we're also gonna notice like different roadblocks start to lift from our life. We're also gonna feel a lot lighter and more connected with self, right? And you have to get out of this stuck state, right? And when you have fibroids, a lot of times women that have fibroids will operate their life out of fear and anxiety. They make decisions from a state of fear and anxiety, right? They're almost in survival mode where they're overwhelmed, they're stressed out, they're not able, like I said, it's like you got to get out of that, right? So when you're getting rid of fibroids, you're going to just feel more grounded, you're going to feel less anxious, you're going to feel more connected to self. And this is an indication too that the womb is healing. You're going to feel just more rooted in who you are as a woman, more deeply connected to your natural feminine essence. Okay? That matters, right? That matters because again, the health of your womb mirrors the health of your life. Okay? So TikTok, if you guys are not on my email list, get on my email list, because the emails I've been putting out lately, oh my gosh, right? People have been writing me talking about how good they are, how they really had mindset shift just based on my emails. So if you're not on the email list, you're missing out. And if you want to get on the email list, again, the link is in my bio. If you're watching from TikTok, if you're watching from YouTube, the link is in my description box. Get on our email list if you're not on it already, okay? Because I don't know how long I'm going to be on these social media now, and how often as well. So why are you not? So when you're not seeing results, and put a one in the chat if you're trying to shrink your fibroids and you're not really seeing results. Put a 1 in the chat, okay? But when you're not seeing results, like, more than likely these are the reasons why. You're not addressing the root cause. I see this one like more frequently than any. You're not addressing the root cause. You're not getting to the root of the issue, right? You're all over the place. You're going to acupuncture one week, next week you're drinking a tea, you're doing, like, there's no structure, there's no you getting to the root of the issue, okay? What about block tubes? What about block tubes? Be specific in your questions. So there's no getting to the root of the roots of the issue, right? So if you're not addressing the root, you're not really addressing the issue. So you have to get out of this microwave healing and wanting to just, like I said, try a new thing every week. We have to get out of this microwave, how can I say this? This microwave sense of healing, because you don't heal like that. You don't heal like that. You got to go deep. And don't be afraid to go deep. Don't be afraid to get to the root, right? A lot of us, sometimes we avoid going deep because we know that we're going to have to make a lot of changes. We cannot be the same person that we are when we got sick, when we developed the fibroids, when our hormones become out of balance. We have to, like I said, your soul is calling for a higher version of yourself, not the same person that you were when you were engaging in the toxic habits that led to fibroids. Okay, whether it was the eating habits and the stress and not taking care of yourself and no boundaries and being a people pleaser, right? So that's that. So you have to look at the whole picture when it comes to getting rid of fibroids, and that's what I help my clients do. Like, you can't just, like I said, a lot of us just want to drink a tea and think that, or take a supplement and think that the fibroids will disappear. That's not going to happen. And you've seen a lot of times, you guys have seen that it's not going to happen, but you keep doing it. So stop looking at these things surface level and go deeper. Go deeper, and don't be afraid to go deeper, okay? Another thing too is when you're not seeing, the reason why you're not seeing the results is because you're trying to heal in stress. This one is big too as well. You're trying to heal your body, your womb, like while living in stress, living a stressful lifestyle. The body cannot heal in stress. So if you have lots of stress in your life, you have to, like I said, and I help my clients do that as well, right? Sometimes it's a process. We have to, like I said, modify our lives in a way where it's not affecting our mental state, right? It's not having such an impact on our nervous system, right? So whether that is you having to kind of increase the capacity of you holding more, or you're having to modify your life in a way where you're not taking as much on, right? So you have to pick a lane. You can't, because your body cannot heal in a stressful state. It can't, and it won't. It won't. Because again, high cortisol levels completely knock your hormones out of balance. Cortisol is one of your foundational hormones. So when cortisol is high, the hormones are out of balance. It knocks your entire hormonal system out of balance, right? So that has to be taken care of, okay? So take that. A lot of people in general don't really take the impact of stress, that they don't really take it seriously, the impact that stress has on fibroids. It has, or even different womb issues, it has a huge impact. Huge impact, very huge. So do not take that lightly. Do not take that lightly. So deal with your stress. Deal with your stress. So your body cannot heal in a stressful state. That's why you're here. That's why you have the fibroids. That's why you guys are going through the issues. Your body cannot heal in a stressful state. Okay? So hopefully I'm clear. And let me know in the chat. Because, you know, let me know in the chat, is that you? Have you been trying to heal your body and you've been going through lots of stress? Or maybe just internally, you're just feeling lots of stress. Because some people, it's not really a lot going on, but they're just internally feeling tons of stress, right? I know that can happen sometimes, right? So that could be a thing. If that's you, let me know in the chat. Like, if that's you, you've been trying to heal, but because of stress, and maybe you just found out right now, that's the reason why you're not seeing much of a difference, okay? And let me know if you guys can hear me. Like, I'm talking to myself. Let me know if you guys can hear me. So, another thing too, this is a huge thing. A lot of, and I always say this, when women go through the natural journey, the natural healing journey, and it doesn't work for them, they always say, oh, well, I've tried to change my diet and it didn't work. That's the problem. You think it's only diet. Diet has a huge impact, yes, on your health, on, you know, on fibroids, absolutely. But who said it was only diet? A lot of you guys laser focus on just the diet, changing your diet, and no, it's deeper than that. No, it's not just diets. It's not just diet, okay? Yes, a diet is included, and diet is a huge deal in your healing journey, but it's not just that. So don't, if you hyper, a lot of you guys just stay right there around the diet. No, it's not just diet. And you miss out on other parts, the important parts, right? Yes, diet is also important, but it's not just that, okay? So try not to stay stuck there, right? It's not only about your diet, right? It's deeper than just your diet. Are you changing your diet in the right way? That's another thing. So thank you so much for the flowers, the gifts, Tris. Thank you. Are you changing your diet in the right way? Because it's not just about, oh, I'm eating healthy. What does eating healthy mean to you? Because it means something differently it means something differently for everyone, okay? It means something differently for everyone, right? What does eating healthy mean for you, okay? I bought the meal plan and started seriously since January, and my 8 days is down to 5 days. Okay, great. NK Morris, okay, awesome. Listen, and if you have not gotten the womb wellness, it's the shopping list. Literally, it's like $11. What the hell are you doing? I'm talking to everybody who has not gotten the list. I don't even think it's on the site anymore, but if you're watching from YouTube, it is in the description box, okay? So if you're like, where do I start? You can start there, but know that you have to do more work. That we don't stop there. But I'm so happy her period went from 8 days to 5 days. That's a huge difference. So congratulations, NK Morris. And even ladies that are watching that have other issues like blocked tubes, somebody mentioned cysts. This is for any type of womb issue, hormonal issue. Get the womb wellness grocery shopping list, right? If it's not on the list, don't eat it. If it's not on the list, don't eat it. Leave it alone, okay? Leave it alone. It does not mean that what's not on the list is not healthy. It means that for fibroid healing, it's not, right? For fibroid healing, it's not, okay? So get that list if you haven't already. And if you want to get the list, if you're watching from TikTok, again, go to my YouTube channel. I'm also live right now on YouTube. So go to the description box of YouTube of my live and you will see it. All right. I want you guys to know that healing also requires a balance of mind, body, and soul. So again, you feel lightness, not just in the body, but also in the spirit, right? You feel more of a connection, deeper connection to yourself. You feel more of a happiness when you're healing your womb. All of these things matter. All of these things matter. Your body is deeply connected, right? And I know that society doesn't, of course, Western medicine, the medical industry, whatever, they only look at health linear one way. And that's why they're not able to, like I said, they don't look at it as curing, or how can I say this? They don't look at it as, they don't cure in the medical industry. They just, like I said, help you manage your symptoms forever, right? So it's so important that you actually, understand that your body, mind, and soul, all of that is connected, especially when we talk about womb health, especially when we talk about hormones. As a woman, you're connected. All of that stuff is connected. The programs work. I'm not sure which course I took, however, it worked. I love that. Yes, Angel. Yes, 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 yes. The programs and courses work. They work. We have so many testimonials, and if you have not taken advantage of that, then you're prolonging your own process. I even say if you're not working with me, work with somebody. Work with somebody that knows what they're doing. That's also holistic. Work with somebody, but don't just sit there and suffer. It doesn't make any sense. My cycles are now healthy. I love that, Angel. Yay! Oh, awesome! I love that. I love that. Yes, and it makes it so much better to have a healthier cycle. To have a cycle that's not going to ruin your week. Not going to that's not a hindrance, right? Because that's not how menstrual cycles are supposed to be, right? You're supposed to feel bliss when you're on your cycle, right? A deeper intuition. You're not supposed to feel miserable. And a lot of you guys have been settling for feeling miserable on your period for years. And it's time for you to do the work so you don't have to feel like that anymore, right? Get your body healthy in a healthy state so you don't have to feel like that anymore, right? Stop normalizing hemorrhaging and anemia, all this crap. And bloating. Stop normalizing that stuff. You deserve better than that. You deserve a womb free of fibroids and cysts and heavy cycles. You deserve a womb that's made to do what it's supposed to do. Okay? So, how do we know that we're on the right path? Like, how do you make sure that you're on the right path to getting rid of fibroids, to healing, right? And a lot of times women are frustrated with slow progress, and I totally get it. Like, if you're trying to get rid of fibroids and you're having some progress, like you're having better cycles, which is good, you want to get to the end goal, which is getting rid of your fibroids, right? You want to get, and you shouldn't settle until you do get to that end goal. So sometimes when you're having the slower progress, when you're having inconsistent progress, because that can happen too. That can happen too, where you feel a little bit better, but then you go back to having anemia and all this stuff. That I see that a lot too. Or you're having no progress. That means that your approach needs some fine tuning. You need to, like I said, you need to integrate this really in your life more so, right? And sometimes, a lot of times, women have blind spots. They're not able to see really what's keeping them back. They're not able to see their blind spots a lot of times when it comes to their healing journey. So if you're having difficulty on really getting rid of the fibroids, there's some fine tuning that needs to be done, right? So a lot of people some people do need more personalization, they need this to be more personalized to their life and to their situation, right? Maybe not everybody, but some people do, right? So if that's you and you're like real, you want to work with me, you want to actually get to the end goal, you want to make sure that you're on the right track and that you're also not just approaching this as, I just want to get rid of fibroids, but you're approaching this as, no, I want to get to the root cause of what's causing my fibroid. I want to get rid of my fibroids, but I also want to get my body healthy, balance my hormones, right? We have our Detoxify Your Womb program for women that want to do the work. Because yes, that's our signature program, the highest level to work with me. You have to do work in that program. I'm guiding you through it, but you're doing work, right? So if you're ready for that transformation, be sure to check out my Detoxify Your Womb program. The link is in the description box. If you're watching from YouTube, we have a 2-month intensive opening up May 5th, literally next week, May 5th. May 5th is on Monday, a week from today, actually. May 5th, right? And if you want to get in before that, if you want to get in before May 1st, you can start as early as May 1st. So if you join, let's say tomorrow or today, you can start on May 1st. We don't even have to wait till May 5th. We can start now. The onboarding process, you can start the process now. Because I know. So if you want to work with me powerfully for 2 months and getting rid of your fibroids, restoring your hormonal balance, getting your body healthy, be sure to check out our Detoxify Your Womb program, the 2-month intensive. Okay? It has done wonders in women's life, and our program, the Detoxify Your Womb program, it has lifetime value. It's not even just for now, you feeling better now, getting rid of fibroids now. No, it has lifetime value. It teaches women. I've talked to clients that I've had like 2 years ago, and they're still doing well. They're still having their hormones in balance. They're still experiencing amazing menstrual cycles. They're still just like bettering their health, right? And becoming, some of them have, I had a client that got rid of that got rid of 4 fibroids while working with me. She got rid of, not shrunk, she got rid of 4 fibroids. She had 5 left, and those 5 all shrunk. And now she's going into, I think, to her ultrasound very soon. And she's like, I know that they're probably going to be gone by the time I go. All of them are going to be gone. So my clients just keep getting better and better. Like, I love it. I love it. I don't feel like others understand womb healing like you do. I've had people tell me to look into other people, but they are not like you. Thank you. I appreciate that, Lady Contemplate. I appreciate that. Your treatment makes sense and it works. Thank you. And Lady Contemplate has taken some of my courses, so she knows, she's improved, so she knows, right? And you know, I didn't ask her to say that. She's saying that, and I feel the same way. But I can't tell people who to go to and who not to go to, right? So I understand this work on a deep level. Number one, because I've been through it, and I've helped many women over the years heal. Through my courses, programs, working personally with me, workshops over the years. So I know what I'm doing. I'm not new to this, okay? Doctors offered me little to no help. Yes, unfortunately, yeah. And you know what? And that's even why I experienced that too. When I had the fibroids, I experienced that too. Little to no help, little to no options. Why are they telling women who haven't even had children yet to take out their uterus? I mean, it doesn't make any sense. I have severe endometriosis and adhesions. I'm so sorry that you're going through that, LeBay. So what are we doing to get rid of that naturally? Because you can, even with severe endometriosis, I've had clients that have had that, experienced that. What are we doing to get rid of that naturally? What are we doing to get to the root of that? Because your body can dissolve endo and scar tissue. Believe it or not, I've had clients do it. Naturally. Your body is very intelligent. A lot of us don't know, like, how can I say this? How much of a self-healing mechanism that your body is. But you have to, like I said, you have to treat it right. You got to create the right conditions for your body to heal and be able to absorb, like, dissolve tumors and cysts and scar tissue. Your body is very intelligent, but a lot of us are getting in our body's way of healing. Okay? A lot of us are getting in our body's way of healing. Okay? So understand. So that's number one. Number one is you have to have belief. If you don't have belief that your body can heal, if you've been brainwashed severely by the medical system, you're going to have to do some work around that. You're going to have to do some work around that. Okay? A lot of people have been so brainwashed severely that they're losing hope in their fertility. They're thinking that they have to, like, do IVF and do all of these treatments and which is pushing more hormones into their body. You don't have to do that. Your body is very intelligent, right? Your body was created a certain type of way, okay? So we have to get back in alignment. So if we're not able to conceive, if we're not having, healthy menstrual cycles, if we're dealing with tumors and all these growths in the uterus, you got to get back in alignment. You got to get back in alignment. You're out of alignment. Right? You got to get back in a state of where your body can begin to heal. Okay? So that's really important. And let me just say this too. When you are healing your body, when you're healing your womb, when you're getting rid of fibroids, make sure that you have very focused action. That's what I do for my clients. Make sure that you're not all over the place. Make sure that you're not, you're not, like I said, you're not doing the teas and the supplements and it's just none of it is getting to the root cause. Make sure that you're actually getting to the roots. Make sure that you're doing your focused action is very important in accomplishing anything, as well as your healing journey. So make sure that your healing is focused. It's not just random. We're not just throwing spaghetti on the wall to see what works. That's not how you heal. That's not how you heal, right? So doing more is not always the answer. Sometimes a lot of times it's doing the right thing. Make sure that your healing is structured, right? And being consistent, disciplined. Don't just, like I said, I'm trying this, I'm trying that. Like, we got to stop that. I know that social media pushes that. No. Okay? So I want to say that. Does anybody have any questions? I also want to say, if you want to work with me again, our 2-month intensive is open. We officially start May 1st, but we're taking clients now. That's our Detoxify Your Womb program. Inside of our Detoxify Your Womb program, if you're not able to work with me, we have courses. We have my Freedom from Fibroids Mastery course. Okay, so the link is in my bio if you're watching from TikTok. The link is in my description box if you're watching from YouTube. Okay, so like I said, start your healing journey now. Do not feel as though you have to continue to suffer. You have to continue. We have a lot of shout out to YouTube with the amazing testimonials. Okay, we have some amazing on YouTube. These are women that have worked, that have taken my courses, programs. You don't have to suffer. You don't have to suffer. Okay, so that's all, ladies. That's all I got. I don't see any other questions. Any questions, comments, something? So I'm gonna go. If you missed this live, if you weren't here on the whole during the whole thing, if you're watching from TikTok, YouTube, I have the replay. The replay will be on the live stream section on YouTube. The link is in my bio to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Subscribe to YouTube because, like I said, TikTok won't always be around. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Jump on my email list if you're watching from TikTok, and if you're watching from YouTube. Description, go to the description box. If you're not on the email list, get on the email list. Okay. All right, ladies. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your Monday. Have a good. I know if you're watching, I know I like to be live during the time where the women that are overseas can also watch me. So London, you guys, I know I have a lot of people following from London, from Europe in general. So I try to make sure I'm live at a time where you guys can also catch me. Okay, I try. All right, so love you guys. Have a good one. You're welcome, Angel. Have a good day, everyone. Bye, YouTube.